Jakub and I founded Blind Ear in 2009. We had started it as a traditional music ensemble. So our first concert we did at the Gershwin Hotel. We picked a bunch of composers. We took 2 weeks and we rehearsed everybody's piece. And then we had this full performance at Gershwin. And afterwards we realized that it was just so much work to set aside 3, 4, 5 hours for each composer's piece to do it justice. And we thought there has to be a better way to get our new music out there in a more cost-efficient and time-efficient way. So I remember very clearly being in Jakub's kitchen and we were just throwing around ideas. And he's like, well, why don't we just write a bunch of loops and change them on the spot and have different musicians just play these loops and we can add them and subtract them as we wish. And we were thinking, how do we do this? And he's like, I'll write a software. So he disappeared for 2 months. He was in his apartment for 2 months and came out with the software. And that's how the idea was formed. And we've had a few versions of it. And I think right now in its current state, we're able to do a lot of wonderful things.
For me, Blind Ear is a project that involves a group of composers, musicians, and the software and concept. We put it all together, and that's what we call Blind Ear. So it's very flexible. We don't have always the same group of musicians, and sometimes we play with different composers. We organize concerts with different composers. But Blind Ear itself is just a concept, the way we create music, the way we want to try new things.
I think in terms of setting, parameters for working with this concept, I don't think it's not limited by genre in any means, but I think modern music is heavily influenced by the use of loops, and this is prevalent in pop music. And this is naturally what we want to do as musicians, is to repeat certain phrases and that sort of thing. So I think it's a natural evolution to really bring this 21st century approach into melding chance music, elements of minimalism, and with contemporary pop music and that sort of thing. So it's not so much in terms of limiting in terms of genre. But I guess basically we're looking at these loops being essentially our building blocks for building a composition live in concert.
In terms of the way I would compose for Blind Ear or compose for a different project, this is my first time writing for this project. Definitely the challenges and the approach is different because of the unique aspect of loop-based composition for acoustic instruments. I work in Ableton, which is loop-based software, but it's more for electronic music. So it was a neat way to mix the kind of the way that you think when you're using Ableton with the way that you think when you're writing a legitimate composed piece. So you definitely, the challenges become, how do you keep it interesting? How do you avoid train wrecks, things that you didn't intend? How do you keep it, use what's unique about this project to do something that can't be done any other way? I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of a project that has the same creative possibilities that this has. So that's kind of exciting.
I
nearest future, I would love to work with larger ensembles and to actually bring our technology to bigger groups. A big thing for me would be going to different universities and going to the composition department of the universities and showing our software and giving different composers who are studying now to be composers the opportunity to work with us and collaborating with them and the university's ensembles. I think that would be a great thing. But also like to work with a small chamber orchestra and see how that works. Right now the largest we've done is like a string orchestra, about 10 players, but we can add on to that, and I think it would be a great new step for us to do a large ensemble.
Finding the music beyond the software and try to use it not as a tool that limits you but expands. So I always try to figure out, okay, so what's the point of using the software for any given piece? Like, what do you want to achieve? What is the benefit of using this method of composing? And that's, I think, the biggest challenge, is like to find new pieces and find these new sounds that we want to